Hey everybody, welcome back to the Privacy Guy. Today's video is going to be about Google's new advertising technology that Google calls FLoC. What this stands for, FLoC, stands for Federated Learning of Cohorts. This is Google's new alternative to cookies, and I think Google's idea here is that if they can say that they're no longer using cookies, people will be less likely to call out Google for certain privacy violations or for too much tracking. And this new method of advertising to people through assigning them to a certain cohort or interest group or demographic group really doesn't do much to protect people's privacy beyond what cookies already were doing. It's something that's going to be included in Google's latest versions of Chrome. And what I think is ironic is that you have all these browsers that are built on Chromium, which is the same framework as Google Chrome browser, but Chromium doesn't include all the tracking technology that Google uses in Chrome. The popular browsers that are based on Chromium are like Vivaldi, Brave, even Firefox has some Chromium features. But basically how this new tracking technology works is it allows Google to just look at all of your browsing history, which clearly isn't very privacy friendly. And once they've looked at what websites you visit often and what you're interested in, they assign you to a cohort. They say, this person probably is interested in these things. We're going to assign them to this group, which really doesn't do much different than cookies. I mean, it's still Google monitoring all of your web behavior and then using that to assign you to an identity. So maybe instead of having very specific advertising to you, I mean, it's a little less specific, and maybe you're one of a million cohorts instead of one of, a billion users. So it is a little bit more privacy because it's not, individual specific necessarily. But it's not doing anything that Google probably wants you to think it's doing. So just because you are no longer tracked specifically with cookies doesn't mean that Google's doing a lot to protect your privacy. Other browsers aren't using it, which I think is a clear indication that it's not great. Brave isn't using it. It's a privacy-friendly browser. Opera, Vivaldi, they're just not adopting this new technology. So Google's probably going to run into some issues after it's pushed out, and that's kind of as expected. But just don't let that trick you into thinking that Chrome is now the most private browser. That's just what I wanted to cover today. It's quick and simple. I'll be sure to update you as I learn more about FLoC, this Federated Learning of Cohorts that Chrome is now using. But in the meantime, maybe look for a more private browser. Switch to something like Firefox. Just try it, see how it goes. My experience with Firefox is that it's easy to use, it's just as convenient as Google Chrome, and it's more private. So thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me spread my message of privacy around the internet, and stay tuned for more videos later this week. Thanks, guys.